Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video, come here.
Let's go over here. Just you and me.
I want to tell you something that home warranty companies don't want you to know, and that is that they are potentially one of the worst investments you could purchase when it comes to looking at buying a home or owning an existing home. So let's dive in. And let's talk about what a home warranty actually is. And if you're watching this video, you're probably a savvy homeowner or a prospective home buyer who's doing their due diligence to look at protecting their largest asset. And I commend you, that's super smart. But I will argue that using that money for a different purpose is probably going to be served in a better way. And so what is actually a home warranty? What does it do? What does it cover? And we'll get into all that at the very core of what a home warranty is. It's like any other insurance contract in America. You sign paperwork and your obligation is, I'm going to pay a monthly premium of X, Y, and Z on this date every month, and the insurance company is going to cover X, Y, and Z in my home. It's as simple as that. Now, there's three main points in this video I really want to drive home. Let's first talk about the cost, what does it take to buy and then maintain a warranty of this nature over time? And then secondly, the real meat of this video is let's look at the coverage, what's covered in these videos and why I think that they are borderline scams because of what they don't cover in the fine print that's included on these policies. And then lastly, let's look at potential solutions. What can we do with our money in a smarter way so that we don't have to buy a home warranty and fall victim to these predatory companies? Now let's get into the cost of home warranties, and keep in mind, if you are about to buy a home or you already own a home, it's likely that your mortgage company and servicer has mandated that you have regular home insurance. And so in this video, we're talking about home warranties, and that's an entirely different topic, which I think in large part is a scam. And a home insurance policy is going to cover the things that actually makes your home a home. We're talking the roof, the shingles, the walls, the foundation, all of those things where if it was to blow away in a tornado or a hurricane, you don't really have a home anymore. Okay, so a home warranty is generally going to cover these smaller things like appliances, toilets. I've seen things like doorbell coverage, which is, kind of mind-blowing to me. So we'll talk about those things in the section coming up regarding the actual coverage. But when it comes to the cost of a home warranty, it's generally going to be, the national average says it's about $600 per residence in America. And I think that's kind of on the low end. You could be seeing double or triple that cost if you've been following the news, looking at places like Florida and California where the cost of any level of home insurance is going to be rising. I think that's a low figure. And here's the part that really gets me regarding these home warranties. You are paying hundreds, if not thousands of dollars already for this coverage. And if you look into any of these policies, it'll state that if you want to leverage your policy, meaning something is broken, something's clicking, something's not working as it should be in your house, and you want someone to come out from the home warranty company and give it a look, you will find that in all these policies, it costs between $75 and $125 just for someone to get in their car and knock on your door and inspect whatever it is that might be not working properly. And so when you think about the added cost over time, if you have maybe just 1, 2, 3 service calls, you're adding incrementally to the cost of that policy. When on the flip side, if you use your own contractor, your own pest control company, you're able to call around, find the HVAC company that you want, then most times they'll come out for free, do the diagnostic work, and then provide you a quote, and you can make a decision if you want to move forward or not. And so that's another gotcha that a home warranty company employs, because they are forcing you to pay every time that you want to use the policy, which is really, really frustrating in my opinion. Now, the fun part, let's take a look at some of these coverages. And I'm on AmericanHomeShield.com, which is one of the largest home warranty providers in the country. A $1.4 billion company scamming people out of their money, which is absurd. And so when you look at their home warranty page, the first thing that I notice it says that our homeowner plans are for people who have owned their home for at least 90 days. So you can't even get immediate coverage. You have to wait 3 months if you buy a home. And why is that? It's because they don't want to provide actual coverage. They want to take your premium, but they don't want to dish out service. And that's true for all insurance companies. Insurance companies are in the business of making money for their shareholders and executives, not the commoner who's paying their premium on time every month. And so when you get into the home systems and appliances that they say that they cover, what you'll notice is they're smaller systems, and you'll start to see how these home warranty companies make money. Because if you're going to cover a ceiling fan, which costs $150, but you're paying $600 a year or more, plus the service visits we're talking about, it's quickly going to be skewed in their favor in terms of a money-making machine. And so you start to see all of the different systems that they say that they cover, and in theory it looks great. Air conditioners, electrical, plumbing lines, heating systems, water heaters, ductwork, the toilet, the doorbell. I've never heard of doorbell coverage, but that's really interesting. And so let's take a look at the toilet example. And each one of these, it's not just straight coverage. You'll notice on this website and all other insurance companies, they don't just say, hey, we're going to cover everything, all components in perpetuity, you're good to go. There's a detail tab that you have to click into on every one of these systems, which is really insane. So let's take a look at toilets, for example. So I click into here. And again, a toilet is $200, $300 at most. And when you look at what is covered and the details, it says all parts and components. But then it says what's not covered, the toilet seat and the lid and the tank lid. In my opinion, that's part of the total toilet, and that should be considered all parts and components. But there's this contradiction on all of these different pieces regarding the actual insurance. So what you're left with when something breaks is a frustrating conversation arguing with your insurance company. No, I thought that it covered this, and they say, no, it doesn't cover that. And that's a headache that I think that most people would want to avoid. So I surfed a bunch of different home warranty websites, and I put together a list of things around the house that are generally not covered by home warranties. Exclusions include cosmetic damage, damage from pests, misuse, damage covered by your homeowner's insurance, items covered by a manufacturer's warranty, known or visible pre-existing conditions, solar electric systems, propane systems, outdoor kitchens, septic systems, water softeners and filtration systems, window AC units, microwaves, garage doors, toilet tank lids, freezers, ice makers and wine fridges, home generators, additional plumbing coverage, improper installations and code violations, sprinkler systems, hot tubs and pools, windows, walls, and doors, acts of nature. Ask your doctor if a home warranty is right for you.
I'm sick and tired of wasting my time.
Here's another really important point to consider when looking at home warranties, and I'll use an example in the healthcare industry. If you've ever had an amazing doctor or a great dentist and you want to go see them again for a checkup and you realize, oh wait, my new insurance actually doesn't have these people in network. And then what do? You can't use them, or you have to pay way more out of pocket to go see them. And so that's the same situation with being signed into a home warranty contractually, meaning you are then relegated to only using their contractors. And when you think about it at the macro level, again, insurance companies are in the business of making money and taking in as high of premiums from their customers as possible and paying out as little as possible. So think about the contractors that they use. Generally, they are not going to be of the highest quality. And so there's a lot of examples of this online where a user of a home warranty wants to have service done, and they get a 2-star rated contractor who really is not good at what they're doing. They're poor at communication. And it's really challenging because, again, you have this middle person, which is the warranty company, that is then working on communication between the homeowner, this contractor. You're paying them all the while that visit fee as well as the monthly premium to have less than ideal service. And in my opinion, that sucks because you can't go out and choose the highest rated provider because they're not part of your warranty network. I'll never forget this one example of having a colleague that sat a few seats down from me, and her air conditioning system was 20 years old. It was on the fritz, and she was screaming at this representative on the phone who was located in Thailand, and the conversation was about her talking about how hot it was in her house in Fahrenheit, and the person in Thailand not understanding because they use Celsius.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
And so that is such a quintessential mismatch, and goes back to my point about having to use someone located in another country because an insurance provider decided to outsource all their people to a different country to keep costs low. And so as my colleague's house was getting hotter and hotter in the middle of the summer, this person had no idea how to help them because there was just a pure miscommunication, and she couldn't go out and find a better contractor that was local because she was stuck using this crappy company's contractors, which was really challenging. So imagine paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars to be in that situation and you can't even get it fixed. Lastly, let's talk about some solutions that you can put in place so you don't ever have to deal with a home warranty company. One of the smartest things that you could do is take that premium that you might be giving to an insurance company and just put it in a separate fund. And maybe it's a few $100 a year or per month, whatever the breakdown might make sense for your current situation. But instead of paying a premium to an insurance company, you are then building your own breakage fund, let's call it. And so when an appliance goes out, you need a new fridge, a new dishwasher, you don't need to have a contentious conversation with a representative on the phone. You can just go in to your own bank account and use that money to fund the repair, or go out and use a contractor of your choice, a highly rated contractor, to go do the repair and have that peace of mind that you know that, hey, I saved and I put money aside for this specific event, and I don't have to get scammed by an insurance company for a repair that I'm gonna have to fight with someone regarding what was actually covered and what wasn't. And then beyond that, it might not make sense to do an entire home warranty policy for all of these things that they're gonna try and break down piece by piece and nickel and dime you. Maybe it just makes sense to get a policy for an individual appliance. For example, if you buy a new washer and dryer at Home Depot, you can buy a policy for $50, $75 that lasts 3 years on that dryer. And so that might give you that same peace of mind, but you're not going to have to argue with your insurance company where you're paying $1,000 a year. You can just have a policy per appliance. And then beyond that, there's also manufacturer warranties in place that are generally a year, possibly 2, 3, or more. And in my case, I got a 10-year warranty on my new HVAC system that includes all parts and labor, all service visits for free, and that was $500. And so I get a 10-year policy through the company that I purchased my HVAC system through for only $500. And so if I wanted that same coverage through a home warranty, I'd be looking at $500 a year no matter what, plus service visits, which is going to really add up and be completely a different price point when you look at what I paid 10 years later versus this policy that I got individually through the contractor that I use. Now, I need to address a couple counterpoints. There's going to be people that say, Taylor, I have had a home warranty for X number of years. It's been awesome. I love it. Then wonderful. That's great. However, if you look at the math over time, you're probably going to be paying more over the duration of having that home warranty in place versus when you just tackle things one by one as they come up. The cost of owning a home warranty is going to be generally more expensive than handling those things in a case-by-case basis as a homeowner. And if you happen to be an elderly person, if you have absolutely no handyman skills, and you simply do not want to deal with it when something breaks, you want one phone number to call, and you just want that peace of mind to know that everything's going to be taken care of, they'll replace it, whatever, you don't have to deal with it hands off, then that's totally fine. And you can do that. Again, it's a $4 billion industry. So there are a lot of people that are taking advantage of those things. But the point of this video is that you don't need to, and you're going to be stuck working with people you don't want to work with and communicating with a company that is trying to scam you out of a monthly premium. That's my main point. So do whatever makes sense for you, but ultimately the cost and the coverage are not worth it. Okay, so let's recap the main points in this video regarding the cost. Home warranties are extremely expensive for what they actually cover, And the headache is simply not worth it. When you add up the cost of the coverage annually, plus the service visits, and the frustration of what the actual coverage is going to be in the fine print, it's really not worth it. And then secondly, the coverage itself is not what it seems to be. If you really do your research, you're going to find that these companies are going to break down each component of what they say is covered into different bits and pieces and then fight you on the payout and fight you on the service and the replacement. It's not worth it. Lastly, there's some things that you can do, better solutions using your own money or different smaller insurance policies that come from your local retailers or your local contractors that are going to make it easier for you to have these things covered over time. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video on home warranties. And until the next topic, I'll see you later.